Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. And today we are reviewing what could be one of the best budget flight simulation pieces of equipment that could ever be around, that can just about cover anything that you can think of that most flight simulator panels do. Stick around, because I was extremely blown away by this. One app designed to do it all. Hangar Control brings everything together: control bindings, hardware configuration, mod and profile management, application launching, add-ons, config files, and more, all managed from a single application. Mods Hangar goes beyond just mods and add-ons. It manages profiles, config files, text files, backups, snapshots, and helps keep your community folders clean and organized. Application Hangar launches your entire sim stack with a single click. Your Stream Decks are fully controlled through the Hangar Control plugin, while all of your other Stream Deck plugins remain active and available. Built by a simmer for simmers, Hangar Control adds new features and hardware support every week based on community feedback. It's a one-time purchase with lifetime updates, no subscriptions. You can try it for free for 5 days with no restrictions at overkillsimulations.com. Just create an account, head to your account page, download the latest version, and get started. And if you're looking for in-depth Microsoft Flight Simulator aircraft tutorials, check out my Patreon site. Links to Hangar Control and Patreon are down in the description below. All right, folks, so this is the Behringer X Touch Mini. This is a MIDI controller, meaning that it's primarily used in the audio world. You know, sound mixers and things like that. Okay, you can see the pause, the play, the stop buttons, the record, all that thing. It's used as primarily an audio video controller. But this time we're going to be using it for flight simming. This, I'm going to be completely transparent, was purchased by me specifically to get it integrated with Hangar Control, which I'm going to show you guys how we use that today. Now, I will say by default, you'll need something like Hangar Control, SPAD.NET, something to that effect in order to use one of these in flight simulation. But once you do, it truly opens up a ton of options. So the big thing that we want to pay attention to is the number of encoders. Look at that. And each one of them also has push functionality. So you have the push functionality. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 encoders. Look at all the buttons down below. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and a slider. So you can bind all of these. And before we even get into something like conditions, like if button state is held down, then the encoder or a button can do something completely different. Long press, short press, sequence, steps, everything that, for example, again, like Hangar Control or something similar can do. But also it has its own built-in layer system. So on layer B, which you can see is highlighted right now, all of this can do XYZ buttons, right? You can bind every single one of these to do something under layer B. But when you switch it to layer A, every single one of these can do something completely different. So not only do you have the 14 encoders, is that what we called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nope, sorry, 16, sorry, in but yeah, gosh, 16 buttons, 8 encoders, with each with a push button. So that brings us to 24 push buttons. But then when you switch layers, now you have a whole nother 16 push buttons with 8 encoders and essentially 2 sliders. Now the trick about the sliders, when you switch positions, you better make sure that's not bound to something that's going to have a problem when you switch. But you guys get the gist. This is an extremely powerful little device and can save you a lot of money and space if you are restricted on either one. I want you guys to think about all of your autopilot panels. I want you to think about all of your lighting controls. And then, like I said, the 16 buttons that are already on it. Your master batteries, your alternators, your lights, avionics switches, whatever they may be. Then picture yourself switching modes, and now all of them can do something completely different. And what's really cool is these, as you can see, have a position indicator, right? That light goes around. It'll come around the other side here in a second. There you go. When I switch, pay attention to where that's at. When I switch positions, they're now in a completely different location. Okay, where now on the different layer, even the indicator does something different. Switch back, and it remembers where it was before. Now, these are not bound to the limits. So there's the limit, and I can continue to spin it, right? So you can have it set to whatever you want, but it gives you a nice indicator of which profile you might be on or how you're using this. So it's a really, really big advantage here and a very, very powerful tool. I did not understand the need for this or the extreme desire. This was a very, very highly requested feature to get integrated with Hangar Control that I finally got set up this week. And I did not understand the reason why, the necessity for it, until we finally got one here and I started working with it. And then I very quickly understood why people wanted one so bad to be integrated with Hangar Control, why they wanted that support so bad. This is an extremely powerful tool. So let's get into using it with something like Hangar Control and just showing a few of the advantages. Like, this isn't going to be a very long video, but I do want to show you guys how cool this is. All right, folks, so real quick, if after watching this you guys are interested in trying out Hangar Control and you happen to miss the intro, I want to clarify there is a 5-day free trial. It's unrestricted, full access to the software. You simply go to overkillsimulations.com, create an account first, even if you're going to purchase it outright. If you want to support my work, you want to buy it, even at the risk that it might suck, absolutely be terrible, you still need to create the account first. Otherwise, you'll get an error at checkout. But create the account first, then hit the red account button, then hit the red download Hangar Control to start your experience. And again, prefacing that I did buy this device specifically to get it to integrate with Hangar Control. That was the whole purchase reason. And then as I started developing this, I went, wow, this thing's actually really cool. So let's get right into it. All right, we're already on my Flight Simulator 2024 profile. We're in our Cessna 172. I'm going to go ahead and start the service here. We're going to go to choose devices. We're going to find the MIDI X Touch Mini. There it is. And make sure you're saved. Bring it over. Okay, profile is created. Now let's get into the fun stuff. It's pretty simple to bind. There isn't much to it. So you can see here what we've done. And actually, let me go ahead and clear these out. So that way you guys can see it all in action. We're going to come all the way down here. Get rid of that. By the way, the framing and weird lagging that you're seeing is OBS. I don't know what I did, but I did something to make OBS mad at me. It is very mad at me right now. And I'm not quite sure what I did. So let's close that. Let's close that. And hit save again. Coming back in. Let's start. So again, you have the layer A and you have the layer B like we talked about when we went over the device overview. So we're going to start with layer A. And what I'm not going to go through each encoder. Each encoder is numbered in the software and according to how it is on the device. As you guys saw in the beginning of the video, the device itself has a number under each encoder. The buttons do light up when you push them, and you guys will see that in a second. We're sort of going to work our way from top to bottom. So starting with the encoders, we're just going to come in here and let's go ahead and go browse. And we're just going to do Colesman. Let's just do our altimeter. And we're going to do, actually, I'm just going to take that and copy it. And we're going to hit save. Go into our counterclockwise. I'm going to paste that. And change that to decrease. You can go through the menu if you want. Oops. And then we're going to also check the push button here. Now I'm going to show you guys something here. With the push button, okay, we want to go to, make sure we select Sim Connect. I'm going to put that in here, and I'm actually going to do Colesman set. Keep doing that, set. And for a standard altimeter pressure, you want to put it in millibars. And as close as the easiest way to do is 16212 as your value, and that should get you right around, for all intents and purposes that we would use, 290902. Okay, and so now when we turn it, oh, nothing's happening. Oh no. Well, that's because we're on layer B. Now, if I push the layer A button, which I just did, there we go. And let's see, crank that altimeter. And then when I give the push button a push, back to 29902. So the encoders on this thing are beautiful. Like, they are extremely responsive. They are gorgeously smooth. I mean, just as smooth as can be. So now, let's check out layer B. We're going to use the same encoder. This is one of the advantages of it, right? Let's go in here and we're going to browse. And this time we're going to look for heading. There's our heading bug. Heading bug increase. Hit save. Configure. Really got to figure out what I did to OBS that made it so mad that it is causing so much lagging. That is so weird. We're going to hit save there again. And so again, right now I'm on layer A. Oh, the altimeter's going. Switch over to layer B. Same encoder. There's our heading bug. Okay, I mean, and look at that. It moves, man. So very, very cool system. And then finally, last thing I'm going to show you guys is the buttons and the slider. Now the buttons are buttons. Okay, the only thing I'm going to show you guys about buttons here is that if you push them, so as long as we're on the right layer, give it a push, and our buttons come to life. And from there, it's the same binding process that you used before. Okay, so now the biggest thing I want to show you guys is the slider. Now, the slider works the same way. You have layer A and layer B, although I would advise caution when using the slider. For more than one object. Obviously, anything that's on an axis, we're going to put it on our trim today just to demonstrate how you would do that. But you want to be very cautious when doing that. Oop, let me get into a reasonable camera position that would actually make sense. Oop, there's the coding, in case anyone's curious. There we go. Use caution because when you switch layers, wherever that axis is, that's what's going to happen. So I don't know where you would want to put the slider somewhere else. Maybe if you were using like a brightness control on one of your knobs or something. But for us, I'm just going to demonstrate the trim. So we're going to go in here. You guys have seen all this before, hopefully. And you can see you do get an axis position. Again, don't mind the weird framing. OBS. I'm going to keep saying that because someone's going to be like, why is it lagging like crap? It's really not. OBS is. And let's go trim. And we're looking for elevator trim set. Hit OK, use axis, yep, save, and voila. And it is extremely smooth. It is a very nice axis to actually have your trim on. I really, really like this because you can just barely tweak it if you want. Like I am barely moving my finger, man. Or you can go crash, because that's exactly what would happen if you did that. That would end badly. Anyways, so just a real quick demo of this thing, guys. I cannot stress enough. Like I know that was more on Hangar Control, but this is all about the device. This is a really, really slick device. And at least for me here in the States, it only cost me right around $80 US. I got mine from Amazon. It took about 5 days to get here. And I am thoroughly impressed. It is for such, I personally would not have ever thought to use something like this for flight simulation. So I really recommend you guys try this out, especially if you're limited on space or limited on hardware, limited on money, all of the above. This is a wonderful little device that will give you a ton of functionality when in the cockpit. Now, the one thing I'll say, if you're wanting to use lights, things like that, just remember to use the toggle. Okay, obviously because it's on a push button, you're going to want that toggle feature. If you have one that doesn't have a toggle option, then that's where you can use something like Hangar Control for short press and long press. So if I just tap the button, it does one thing. If I press and hold it, it can do something completely different. So really slick, really, really slick. Really impressed with this, you guys. Really impressed. So anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. I think it's an absolutely fabulous piece of hardware and worth the dime. The only caveat is, I will stress one more time, you do need something like Hangar Control or SPAD.next or MobiFlight, or in order to use this device. If you try to buy this device and just hook it up to your computer and run it in Microsoft Flight Simulator or something similar, they're not going to pick it up. They're not going to detect it for what it is. Okay, so that is a requirement. These integrations have to be built custom. But as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. Stay safe and healthy, and I shall see you in the next one.